regardless, though, I'm really excited for this just because looks like the players are ready. But ExpecT, like, he's the best Terran from Taiwan. You know, he's the best Taiwan has to offer when it comes to Terran players.
It's taking everything for me, like, to not make the pun again.
Well, it's just saying the same thing over and over again. It's like, I don't know what do we expect? I don't know, mate.
No, that's why you switch it up a little bit now and then, right? You know, it's just like in TVZ, you don't always go for a 2-rack. Sometimes you go for a 3-rack.
Yeah? What are you gonna go for?
Proxy. Sometimes you go for a 1-rack proxy.
What do you go for?
You'd be like, we should be expecting a close.
You already said that.
Switch it up a little bit. I didn't use the.
Is he expecting?
What?
Is he expecting?
Is he pregnant?
Is he? I don't know.
We're going to start a qualifying match at Jagannatha. We're here in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, sweating all the way in the bottom left-hand corner. We have the blue Zerg player coming down from the land of Hong Kong. The best player from Hong Kong, representing himself. He is GogojOey.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Jagannatha LE, we have the Taiwanese Terran player. He is red, representing Team Naive Dream World. It is the best Terran player in all of Taiwan. It is ExpecT. What now, Yaku? What are you thinking? What's going through your mind right now?
So we're on Jagannatha. I feel proud of my self-control.
God damn it. Oh, God.
Yeah, and usually when you're looking at a map like Jagannatha, I'd have to favor GogojOey. I feel like
you're just moving past it? Sorry. Alright.
It seems like you want me not to, so let's go. I'm expecting this map to suit GogojOey a bit more than ExpecT. Obviously, if GogojOey plays the way we're expecting him to play, he will be able to get a lot of his units across the map quicker than ExpecT will. At least that's what I'm expecting.
Hey, done.
I was not wanting to go. You wanted me to go.
Do you have it out of your system now? Are you? Oh, God. Shaking my head.
But,
to be fair,
I do think that
yeah, to be fair, I was about to say that it is difficult. We run into the same issue with time where it's not even intentional. We just like say the word. We just happen to just say the word and we notice we say the word. Time. Yeah, we notice it, and because we notice it, it just feels like we're doing it because it's the player, and we don't.
That's why I just call him Paynon from now on.
Oh boy.
But yeah, I do definitely think that a map like Jagannatha will fit GogojOey a lot more. It is a very long map, so for each race it does take a while to reinforce your positions, but it's more forgiving for Zerg.
Yeah, it definitely can be.
I would say.
It definitely can be. I mean, depending on how you approach this matchup, I love this. Yo, GogojOey. This is the GogojOey we know and love. He is going for a very fast Roach Warren behind the natural base. It is on ExpecT to scout this, to figure out what the hell is going on, what the hell GogojOey is doing. Right now, he has no goddamn idea.
None whatsoever. GogojOey definitely praying to the Rogue God for a while. Before today's tournament.
Oh boy.
And honestly, I think this is going to work out pretty well. Well, we'll see. I think this is going to work out pretty well for what GogojOey normally likes to do, regardless.
Yeah, we'll see how committed GogojOey is with this, because again, we have seen like maybe 4 Ravagers, you know, not like an ultra aggressive play, and all he does is maybe deny mining at the natural, force the base to be lifted off. What I mean by that is that ExpecT, thankfully, it looks like he's going for a Banshee. Yeah, so with Banshees, he should be able to, like, he shouldn't die. Like, this shouldn't kill him, right?
Oh yeah, he's gonna survive the initial wave, it's really going to depend on the micro, especially the SCV drilling, to see how well he survives. But should be getting some tanks after this, and that's just going to be the backbone, right, of whether you're attacking or defending as a Terran player, but especially for defending.
Something that's interesting is that the bunker is being thrown down on the low ground, so ExpecT wants to hold on to his natural base, which I'm a little bit concerned about. But again, it does all depend on how committed GogojOey is going to be with this Roach Push.
Yeah, already ExpecT buying himself a lot of time with his Reaper's KDA charge. The bunker should live! And it does! A couple of Marines getting in right now. Actually, are those Marines or are those SCVs?
Oh my god.
Now the Marines get in.
The Marines do get in. The Banshee does reveal itself, and ExpecT, he does hold. To be fair though, GogojOey, mate, he only made 4 roaches. And he only lost 1. He's fine.
Yeah, this was not an all-in by any means. Just about the least committed you can get when going for a roach rush like this. But the important thing is, ExpecT did not take economic damage there. Sure, he was kind of forced to delay his stim a little bit, forced to pull a couple of SCVs of the mineral line, but he is not out of it. He is just continuing to power up for that big push.
Yeah, what's important is that he didn't overreact, right, to what was coming his way. He didn't start panicking. He didn't, like, I don't know, lift up his natural and just alarm bells all over the place. Thankfully, he was able to keep a cool, calm head, and yeah, he's not too far behind. Meanwhile, the Banshee is dealing some damage. It is scouting as well. He did see the lair. He has not seen the spire.
Not quite yet. This is something I absolutely love from a lot of the players from the Asia Pacific, the Zerg players. That signature Muta switch.
Oh yeah. GogojOey, Miomaika, Demi, they do it whenever they have a chance to. And these Banshees, to be fair, they do have a chance to even get into the natural base and scout this. At the moment, they haven't been able to go that deep into the Zerg base, but yeah, he's going there. Maybe.
Oh, not quite. Might be able to get a Queen, which is pretty good damage regardless. Not quite yet, but at least the Banshees live.
Yeah, the Banshees, they live, but they were zoned out. They were unable to scout anything here in the natural base. And what are the defenses looking like? So far, no missile turrets. We do have an eBay. Of course, upgrades are on the way. He is going for a biotank style, but he is still not prepared for the mutas.
Yeah, not in the mineral lines, at least. You could argue that, sure, if you have enough Marines who can fight the Mutalisks head-on, but GogojOey's not going to fight Marines head-on with Mutalisks. Let's be real.
Yeah, oh boy, like these mineral lines are looking just so juicy right now. Sure, there are Marines to try and chase down the mutas, but they aren't necessarily in position quite yet. We do have the mutas on the way. Meanwhile, a couple of things do go for a run by the tank. No, okay, doesn't commit.
Yeah, they were very, very exposed, but GogojOey not wanting to take the risk, doesn't want to throw away his sole form of map control at the moment. Mutalisks are out, a couple of them, and they miss the Banshees.
They miss the Banshees, and the Banshees miss the mutas. They miss each other. The mutas are headed into, I guess, the main base, or any base, really. There's just barely anything to defend whatsoever. Meanwhile, the drop does hit one of the... Oh my god, but there's plenty here to defend against the drop.
There is immediate surround on that. Meanwhile, the 4th base, though, is in a lot of trouble. No spore crawlers here yet. No Queens in sight either. The Mutalisks do reveal themselves in the main base, but not getting too many SCV kills.
Yeah, they do force them all off the line in the main base. Ooh, the mutas do turn around, mate. They are looking to fight the Marines. Oh, there are too many Marines. Oh god!
And the Marines are all stimmed. A little bit hard to see camouflage in all the SCVs, but very nicely done here from ExpecT. Meanwhile, the counter drop does draw a lot of drones off the mineral lines, takes out the spore crawler as well. Eventually, it's gonna get cleaned up, but how long would these drones stop mining?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there was some nice damage done there by ExpecT. Eventually, everything was cleaned up. You know, the Banshees were cleaned up here at the 4th base. The drop will go down to these mutas, but he was able to get some breathing room. He was able to force the mutas back home.
And now he knows that the mutas are out, gonna be defending his mineral lines a lot better with the missile turrets. ExpecT, he is cool, he is calm, he is safe.
Oh yeah, for now at least, for now. I would love to see a switch.
That's a caveat.
Yeah, I would love to see a switch out of tanks. he has a decent solid amount of tanks now. That's great and all, but mate, oh, the mutas, they get caught out.
The last thing you want to happen to you as a Zerg player. And we'll see how committed GogojOey is going to be to the mutas. He is getting +1 flyer weapons, and he's making a couple more, but it really seems like he just wants to use them as a harassment force, not as a part of the main army. There's the infestation pit, looking to get to the next phase of the game.
Oh, that he is. Meanwhile, another muta gets picked off. Oh my god, he just keeps losing these mutas. Meanwhile, the Lings are finally here to help support them, but only get a single Marine. Oh boy, and as you said, we do have that infestation pit on the way. I have to wonder if this is going to be for Ultras, which would make the most sense, or if he intends to switch into something else.
I mean, as you said, it's got to be Ultras, right? He's already got the melee upgrade, going for Carapace. And what better way to deal with Marine Tank? I guess maybe Lurkers, but he's not investing in Lurkers.
Yeah,
this
we wouldn't.
choice doesn't really lend itself to Lurkers.
Yeah, not at all, not at all. I don't think he's really one to go into Lurkers. Lurkers is very much so a stylistic choice, and a lot of the Southeast Asian Zerg players, they don't go for it. Oreo is a little bit of an oddity in that respect. Meanwhile, the mutas, they do find this drop. They are chasing them down. At the same time, the main army does siege.
And ExpecT does get a foothold, but GogojOey's looking to surround. The tanks are looking very, very exposed right now, but the target fires on top of the Lings are absolutely ideal. A lot of the Banelings will connect with the Marines, and it looks like there's just enough for GogojOey to clean this out. Completely wipes out the push.
Gee, it was just barely enough, mate. I was worried there for a moment. Oh, but here come the reinforcements. Massive amount of Lings. There are not enough Banelings here to deal with these Marines.
And they're so far off a creep as well, forced to cancel and back away.
God, exactly. GogojOey, he needs these Banelings desperately, so ExpecT, he actually doesn't push into creep, and I don't blame him. You don't want to be pushing deep into creep, but this does buy GogojOey enough time to survive.
To get even more defenses out when it comes to Banelings. The Hive is now on the way.
Yeah, the Hive is on the way. A little bit delayed since the infestation pit has been done for a while, but man, it was pretty chaotic in these past couple of moments. And now here come the mutas. They do get a couple worker kills. They even get a Reaper that I think was maybe alive for the entire game.
It deserves a medal, honestly. Deserves a national tribute.
Oh boy, meanwhile here comes the Ling Bane. The wall isn't quite a wall, so maybe the Lings cancel.
Does lift, could try to Bane bust here, but I think GogojOey would much rather utilize that for the mineral line. So many tanks! Gonna chase away the Ling Bane. Decent contamination though on the factory. Not gonna have too many tanks out here.
I mean, there's still a lot of tanks.
Except for the ones that they already... Yeah, I mean production-wise, not going to be able to make those tanks.
Yeah.
He has a lot of tanks, though. He has more than enough.
I was about to say, I feel like at a certain point there's diminishing returns. I feel like he has enough tanks for now. I don't know if he wants to necessarily max out on that.
Yeah, I think usually the range is 6 to 8 tanks, depending on what you're going for bio-wise.
Oh boy, and we already have that. Meanwhile, it looks like this drop over here does get caught out a little bit. But GogojOey has to be careful because the rest of ExpecT's army is reacting to this.
It is a GogojOey may have wanted to try to go for the mineral line over there, but not quite jumping on top of it. He knew the army was out somewhere on the map.
Yeah, exactly.
Now he knows exactly where.
And finally, GogojOey, the Hive is complete, so we have 3-3 on the way. We have Adrenal Glands. Ultralisk Cavern has been thrown down, but again, it's going to take quite some time, not just for the Ultralisk Cavern to finish up, but also those Ultra upgrades.
And just to get Ultras out in general. I don't think GogojOey has a supply for it, though. Looking at it. He is starting to go in, try to surround the tanks. Does get a beautiful surround with the Lings. The Banelings crash into every single Marine. Tanks are still standing, but not for long. Another deflection coming out from GogojOey. Shuts down the push, and I'm starting to really worry for ExpecT now. Like, he's still going pure Marine tank, does not have an answer whatsoever to the Ultras that are going to come out.
Well, before we get to the Ultras, I was about to say, mate, what's it going to take for him to make a Widowmine? Like,
no, I mean,
like we've seen mass Ling Bane Muta surrounds, and I'm just saying Widowmines would be doing so well right now. And as you were saying, he's struggling to deal with that. Next up is the Ultras. Thankfully, it looks like ExpecT does have a plan after this, as he is going for the Ghost Academy.
Very, very positional, going with the Ghosts. Had to be so careful not to get those snipes canceled, but just about the most potent anti-Ultralisk unit you can really get as a Terran player. It's a risk reward, you know?
It definitely is. It definitely is. I mean, those snipes, we've seen snipes just completely shut down ultras in the past, but it also depends on whether you can protect those ghosts from the lings. Otherwise, the lings can, of course, deny and cancel those snipes.
Yeah, one of the most APM intensive answers to Ultralisks here.
But yes, it's his preferred choice over Liberators, at least for the moment. And ExpecT, after pushing out twice now and being shut down, he's just turtling up hard here on 4 bases.
Yeah, he knows. The minute he leaves the safety of his bases, things go very, very wrong for him.
Yeah, they have.
This frees up GogojOey to take so many more bases though, like, he's already encroaching onto ExpecT's territory when it comes to creep spread. If he just takes one more base, he has more than half of the minerals in this game.
Exactly. And right now, because ExpecT is turtling, he's giving GogojOey the time he needs to go for those upgrades, right? That we were talking about. Like, the ultras are going to be on point, 3-3 is done. We even have +2 flyer attack. GogojOey is doing whatever he wants, and ExpecT is struggling to take a 5th.
Especially with this Ling here. One Ling. Preventing that. GogojOey is building up a massive bank right now. Mostly minerals, but eventually he's going to get to the point where he can just trade Ling and Bane as inefficiently as he wants.
Oh yeah.
So I expect to try to slow him down.
I mean, he does need to clear up some supply. A unit that GogojOey is missing that would do amazing for him right now because of the massive amount of tanks. Some Vipers. Vipers with either Blinding Cloud or Yoink, some Ducks would be amazing right now.
I don't know how many times we had to remind players that Vipers exist. It is such a useful unit to have for the Zerg players. So much utility. It's basically the Zerg Raven. But he is missing that. Doesn't seem to matter in the end though. Not at all. The Ultras come in. The Banelings connect with so much of the bio and the SCVs. The rest of the bio though is cleaning out the army.
Exactly.
But that's exactly what GogojOey wants.
We were talking about it. GogojOey can he be as inefficient as possible? It doesn't even matter, mate. Sure, he traded his army, but he had a bank. It's remax.
Alright, yeah, as you said, just remax. Literally, I think a lot of the time when people say remax, I mean, yeah, they just remake their army and they can fight. No, we mean literally max out on supply.
Exactly. 200 out of 200 supply already. Takes out a base, takes out all the tanks. And mate, the problem with tank production, it takes so long to rebuild. You cannot reactor them out. You need all the factories you can. And to be fair, he still has a decent amount of tanks, but oh god, he is still very far down in supply.
Man, I wish tanks could be reacted out.
That'd be insane, mate. Oh my god.
That'd be a poisoned wish, so to speak, or be careful what you wish for a situation. Once again, GogojOey trading however he wants, takes out the tanks, and he will get chased away. He actually spent his entire bank, so he does need to be careful from here on out, but he has Ultralists now.
He has so many.
Took out enough tanks earlier on that I think it was worth it.
Definitely. Like, there are just so many ultras here. He just needs lings and he can just go toe-to-toe with everything that's here. Like, I don't know how ExpecT really deals with the massive amount of ultras.
Yeah, show me the snipes, ExpecT. Show me the snipes. He is hiding the goals decently well, but the ultras start to come in. Very good snipes, but not enough. The Zerg army is encroaching from every single angle. GG is called. GogojOey is going to take game number 1.
GG, well played. GogojOey just so on point with his engagements that were out on the map. We saw 2 beautiful engagements there where ExpecT pushed out and he just kind of got surrounded. They were pretty close, to be fair, but after that, ExpecT was just kind of afraid to move outside of his bases.
GogojOey put the fear of Hong Kong into him.
That's it.
Is what he did. We used to call it Beastork syndrome, you know, where a player gets traumatized. I think that's less of a Beastork thing and more of a Hong Kong thing.
I do also want to say that ExpecT was a little bit stubborn there. I like, we talk about it all the time. Tanks are great against, you know, Ling Bane Hydra, right? Or just straight up Ling Bane even, to begin with. But like eventually, especially when your opponent goes mutas, like you want to be going into Widowmines. Like Widowmines can do so well, especially with macro like ExpecT. Like I want to praise him a little bit there. Like he was on point with producing his units. Like he was just constantly pumping out more and more tanks. Imagine if they were Widowmines, or at least at least half of them Widowmines at least.
Yeah, I think it is decent to have a couple of safety tanks, but I'm with you there. Should have switched into lines. The minute he saw it was going to be Mutiling Bane into Hive Tech. I have to say though, I very much understand the style ExpecT was going for, and when you're going for a very aggressive, I want to hit once my 2/2 finishes up and I'm maxed out. I do think that tanks will help better when it comes to sieging down bases. It is a little bit. I do think the map played into that a little bit, though. As you said, Jagannatha, not the best map for Terran to reinforce. If he does something similar here on Lightshade, I think it would be a lot closer.
Definitely. The rush distance is much smaller here. Oh boy, but here we go. We are getting into game number 2.
Over on Lightshade LE, we're in the bottom right-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the bottom right-hand corner. We have the blue Zerg player coming down from the land of Hong Kong, the best player from Hong Kong, and mate, the master of surrounds is what I'm going to call him from now on. Going to be representing himself. He is GogojOey.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Lightshade LE, we have the Taiwanese Terran player. He is red, representing Team Naive Dream World, the best Terran in all of Taiwan. It is ExpecT.
And I am not going to be making puns in the early game this time.
But what are we going to fill the time with? What happens?
We're gonna ponder. We're gonna be following Steve, the Overlord, as he makes his way across the map. He's documenting his journey down in that journal. He's sending it back home, a letter to his sweetheart, and that sweetheart is gonna be sending it to the Overlord. The Overlord, of course, being GogojOey, because GogojOey, he needs this information, and Steve, he knows that GogojOey needs that info. He sees a lot of sand, a lot of white sand. Actually, is it sand or is it rock? It could be white sand, but it could also just be, very polished. Oh, I guess it could be snow as well, but I don't know what snow looks like IRL, so maybe not.
Who do I look like, Alex? What are you? What is this, a brain cell cast? God damn it, Yaku.
You're the one following the Overlord.
Oh my god. Alright, here we go. As we are getting into game number 2, you were talking about Lightshade earlier and how you think ExpecT would have an easier time here, and I 100% agree, right?
Well, yeah, maybe not necessarily easier, but definitely a lot more effective.
Definitely. Like his strong bio pushes, like again, they were pretty terrifying, to be honest. Like every single time it looked like GogojOey just barely had enough. So on a map like Lightshade, it's gonna hit a little bit sooner, and maybe he'll have a little bit better positioning and be able to handle whatever GogojOey is able to dish out.
Oh, absolutely. Not even just getting across the map quicker with the main push. You kind of expect to take a lot of losses when going for big pushes. That wasn't even essential. God damn it. So reinforcing with the bio is super key.
Yeah. It definitely is. Meanwhile, GogojOey, mate, oh my god, just like Jagannatha, going for that Roach Warren behind the mineral line.
And that's a double-edged sword of Lightshade, isn't it? Like, we were mentioning its shorter rush distance and how ExpecT can really make use of that. GogojOey has the exact same rush distance.
Exactly.
And plenty of opportunities to make use of it.
Meanwhile, I mean, it does for now. Oh, never mind. Ooh, I'm worried. I'm so worried right now for ExpecT because he's not going for a 1-1-1. He's going for a 2-1-1, mates. Yeah, that means he's not going to have Banshees. That means the chance of this Roach Push dealing damage is that much higher.
Really is. He needs to pray to everyone, to Flash, to all of the StarCraft gods, that GogojOey doesn't dedicate too much to this Roach Push, but already 4 of them are coming out light. Thankfully for ExpecT, GogojOey is still getting a couple of drones out. He is not neglecting that. But once he sees opportunity, it doesn't take much to imagine GogojOey holding down that Roach button.
Yeah, exactly. I'm unsure whether this Hellion scouted the roaches. I'm not 100% sure on that. There we go. The bunker's being thrown down. Yeah, he totally saw it. He knows that the roaches are on the way. Last time, the roaches barely did any damage whatsoever. We'll see if that is a little bit different here on Lightshade.
Yeah, GogojOey is now making a massive runner drone, so I don't think he expects to get too much done over here. But he notices, yo, there are Marines, a lot of Marines, there are Hellions. Where are your aero units?
Yeah, exactly. And already 2 SCVs go down, a little bit of lost mining time, and he does have a decent idea of, hey, what his opponent is going for. Because of how few Hellions there are, he has to assume, and because of the Marauders as well, I think he knows it's 2-on-1. He should be able to deduce that.
I'll see what GogojOey's response is. He's not typically used to the shoe being on the other foot when it comes to early game aggression like this. Not making too many lings at the moment, which is pretty worrisome.
Yeah, we have 2 Evo chambers, we've got a lair on the way. Like, this is a lot of investment in tech, not so much in army, which for now is okay, but yo, the medevacs are out. ExpecT is going to be moving across the map.
Yeah, not really loading up like you'd normally think a 2-on-1 would do. He knows there's an opportunity for him to just go across the map right now, and he's taking it.
Yeah, and there are roaches on the way. No links for GogojOey, which is a little bit concerning.
Yeah, I mean, roaches are pretty good. They're very tanky against the Marines, but 1, what are they going to do against the Marauders? And 2, what are they going to do when the Terror player hot picks up like this?
Exactly. The roaches are ready at the 3rd. They are not ready in the main base, and they are so slow to maneuver between the bases. How much damage can get done before the roaches show up?
Probably quite a bit. GogojOey not evacuating to the other mineral line right now. The roaches are buying a little bit of time, and they do manage to get in, but look at that hot pickup light, and they can just bounce into the 3rd base, if not for the queens.
Oh, solid queen positioning there by GogojOey. He does force the drop back into the main, force it away, makes it think twice, and with that, GogojOey, he holds.
Nicely done.
Oh boy, and behind this, even GogojOey was taking a 4th base. He's expanding towards the north. This drop still needs to do a little bit more damage. The Overlord does have eyes on it.
Yeah, at the very least, ExpecT does have, I would say, the better map control for now. There's not a lot of anti-air available for GogojOey, aside from these spores, funnily enough.
Yeah, but he just doesn't even care about the spores. He still does drop into the main base. He is getting a decent amount of worker kills, and even goes toe-to-toe with the roaches.
Yeah, these Marauders really putting in a lot of work. But the bio is starting to get surrounded by all this land. And I was going to say, you know, something that ExpecT can really utilize right now is, or can really exploit, is GogojOey's lack of anti-air to bounce between bases. But I feel like he's overstaying his welcome a little bit when it comes to these drops.
Kind of. I mean, he is keeping GogojOey's attention here towards the south, which I love, because ExpecT, he is sneaking across towards that 4th base. And mate, there's almost nothing here, mate, to protect it.
It ain't in position. The creep spread was so focused towards the south. A drop comes down, but now ExpecT comes in.
God, that he does. Stim is already complete. 1-1 is still on the way for our Terran player. Ooh, and you know what? There are not enough Ravagers here to deal with those tanks.
Not at all. I'm not convinced Roaches is the right choice here, Light.
I mean, they may be, but unfortunately, the Ravagers just weren't ready, and he does need links to support this army as well.
He really does. He's a little bit of a buffer. Once those tanks take out the Ravagers, that is going to be it. Again, I don't know how many times we can reiterate this. Tanks are the backbone of the Terran army. In almost every TVC scenario.
Exactly. Meanwhile, this one Marine is being so annoying. Oh my god, the drop of micro here from ExpecT has been insane this game. The 4th base did, of course, fall. GogojOey, he's getting ready to finally engage with the main army of ExpecT once he does on siege. That Marine is still there.
He gives it up. Oh, having such a tough time splitting up the army. Will eventually clean that up. But not before it takes out 5 drones. Like,
all right, let's go.
Is way too more than you want. Roaches are starting to get in. The tanks are super exposed. But 2 of them will survive at the very least. GogojOey taking a lot of losses, but now he has an initiative, right? He can go for the counterattack. Oh, but there's so many tanks.
There aren't that many Marines, which is honestly a little bit surprising to me. He has been focusing on his tank production. We'll see if this is going to be enough here for ExpecT, as the Ravagers are here and they're going to be piling down some of these tanks.
3 tanks to take out, 3 biles to take out a tank, and a couple of them do fall, but the Marines providing such a good buffer here did badly bruise a lot of these other Ravagers, but Bile is off cooldown pretty soon, Light.
Oh god, that it is, but there are just so many tanks here, as you were saying. Jesus Christ, there's 5 tanks. The Marines, they are fighting outside of tank range, which isn't the most ideal scenario for ExpecT.
Probably the least ideal scenario, yeah. Drop will go down on GogojOey's side of the map, and now these reinforcements are free to just go across the map. Again, very short rush distance when you're on light chain. Oh, so many tanks!
7! There's 7 tanks here! My god! And now the Marines, they just go toe-to-toe with the Roaches. There are barely any Roaches left to buffer for those Ravagers, and once the Roaches fall, then all these Ravagers are gonna go down! Oh god.
Yeah, Biles are exactly the most reliable form of AoE! And GogojOey has to retreat, he has to give them up, but he's going to the Planetary right now.
He is, but it's the Planetary. These SCVs, they can turn around, they can repair, and that's exactly what they start to do. These Roaches, oh my god, they're not going to be able to get the Planetary. They're going to try. Yo, can they get it?
They're starting to get very, very bunched up.
Where's the repair?
A lot more Roaches are coming in. There's the repair, and no Biles to cancel it. Is it going to be enough? Just enough for ExpecT to hold on to the Planetary. The Roaches are about to get sandwiched.
Oh god, the Roaches, they just barely managed to escape. Oh my god, a couple more, though. They do just walk into their death.
Such a meat grinder. So many tanks, like, did not even need to siege up. In fact, it was probably better that they weren't sieged up.
Hey, he's got 10 tanks.
Very, very annoying drop. 10 tanks?
He's got 10 tanks, mate.
10 tanks?
Oh my god, and you need a lot of Ravagers, and more importantly, like, Lings are so great here because they do tank a lot of that tank fire, but we'll see if he has enough Roaches. Oh my god.
He's trying to split up his army. He deals to the bio, he gets right on top of the tanks. This is a diminishing returns we were talking about, Light. Not enough bio because the tanks really cut into the supply. But this drop is still very much in play. Like, GogojOey is bleeding out minerals left and right.
Mate, the drops have been absolutely insane here by ExpecT. They've been dealing so much damage, keeping GogojOey so busy. And you're 100% correct in what you said earlier, where ExpecT, he had a lot of tanks, but he just barely had any bio to protect them. Like the Roaches, they just move commanded in, just on top of the tanks, and then that's all they had to do.
You just needed one little crack in the tank wall. And they're right on top of every single one of them.
Exactly.
It's kind of fitting, if you think about it.
Oh god, finally we do have 3-3 on the way here for ExpecT. GogojOey working on his own upgrades. He's still struggling to deal with these drops. I'm so surprised GogojOey hasn't gone for a Spire yet. Not necessarily for Mutas, but for at least Corruptors to help deal with the Medivacs.
Yeah, in fact, some players would actually argue that if your primary focus is Medivacs, you want to get Corruptors instead of Mutalists, so they don't accidentally move on to something else.
Oh my god, GogojOey's just kind of been stuck on this tech. The other thing that I would say, which it will take a while because GogojOey doesn't have an infestation pit, is to go full dark and just go Hive and straight into Vipers and just rely on power bombs, on parasitic bombs, for that anti-air. It's not ideal, but you don't have to invest too much in tech, you just need a Hive. But I mean, a Hive is something far.
Yeah, to get to a Hive, you do need to invest in an infestation pit, and that is very far away right now. A very far away prospect for GogojOey. He's setting up for a bit of a flank here. This Terran army could get surrounded once again. Tanks are a little bit exposed.
That they are. Meanwhile, the base will go down. GogojOey down to 3 bases. Meanwhile, here comes the collapse on the army, trying to go for a surround.
A lot of tanks do go down, but the bio is still very much in play. Is it going to be enough right now for ExpecT? 3-3 isn't finished just yet. The Bile's actually landing left and right.
Oh my god.
What a hold from GogojOey, holding with everything he had, but he's starting to get really low now, Light, in terms of every single resource, whether it's supply, whether it's minerals.
The anti-timing. 3-3 is about to finish up in 3 seconds. ExpecT, you couldn't wait like 10 seconds before the attack? Oh my god. Now, with those upgrades, he does fight beautifully here. He is focusing down every single one of these Ravagers. The Ravagers are falling. GogojOey is bleeding out a lot here. Finally, he does decide to turn around, but he lost a lot in this fight. Oh my god, he's still losing everything.
GogojOey is completely out of money right now. And it should just about be it. ExpecT, he is up so much army supply right now. He should be able to get a siege up. Doesn't even need to. GG is called, and ExpecT ties up the series 1-1. We're going into a king match.
We are. GogojOey trying to rely on that Roach Ravager style, but because ExpecT, we saw it in game number 1, ExpecT, mate, he loves his tanks. And tanks, they may not do too well against Mutas, but they love going up against Roach Ravager.
Oh, that is exactly what they want. And as much as I want to say that, yeah, of course, this was like shade, what we talked about earlier on was correct. It fits the mass push style that ExpecT has a lot more. I have to say, the drops from ExpecT,
Mhm.
that is what I think every Terran player aspires to be able to do.
Oh,
If
yeah.
not for those drops, GogojOey would be able to trade a little bit. Well, GogojOey would still trade inefficiently, but if not for those drops, GogojOey wouldn't have starved out as much as he had. ExpecT just needed to trade efficiently a couple times, and then GogojOey was out of money.
Yeah, pretty much. GogojOey, he was struggling to hold on to fourth base. He just kept losing it over and over and over again. Whether it was towards the south, whether it was towards the north, he just couldn't get a fourth up and running. He didn't have enough money to get into Hive, to work on his upgrades. He was just falling further and further behind. Oh boy. And here we go. We are tied up 1-1. GogojOey struggling with his Road Ravager style. I'd be surprised if we see that again.
Oh, yeah. I feel like this is definitely something that he's thought, you know what, this has been gaining some traction recently. I might as well try it and see if it works out for me. Hasn't worked out yet. Specifically against ExpecT, it has worked out. Again, he is the player who loves his tanks.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I was about to say that it was probably also very map-oriented as well, that, you know, GogojOey's
True.
decision to go for Road Ravager. But, I mean, as we just saw and as GogojOey just saw, hey, it doesn't necessarily work against ExpecT's style. So, yeah, we should see a lot more Ling Bane. Are we going to see some Lurkers eventually? Maybe.
Ooh, this be the time. But as we're just getting all our casters in here, takes make sure everybody is starting to ready up. We do have a couple of updates in our tournament. In the lower bracket, B-Stork has taken out a 32-0. We'll be waiting for the loser of, I believe, either this series or Javier versus Yoga. And oh no. Oh no. I think Yoga might have forfeited the upper bracket. I was looking at Renegade stream, they were both tied up 1-1, but he was having some internet issues. He may have forfeited the upper. I'm hoping he's able to resolve them and we'll be able to play in the lower bracket. But Javier will be your first player to advance, it seems. We will get some confirmation of that later on. Till then, we are going to be hanging around 2000's atmosphere. LE, we're in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, starting all the way in the bottom left-hand corner. We have the blue Zerg player, the most aggressive Zerg player, at least when it comes to what we refer to colloquially as the Zerg Triangle. He is representing himself. He is GogojOey.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of 2000 Atmospheres LE, we have the best Terran player in all of Taiwan. Representing Naive Dream World, it is ExpecT.
Yeah, just keeping my ear a little bit to the ground to see if there's anything to report.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm very happy with how the game transpired in game number 2, just because this does mean that this won't be one-sided. That's what I was honestly a little bit concerned about after game number 1. But at the same time, you could argue that, hey, it was maybe some of GogojOey's overall decision making, his army composition, that led to his downfall. Regardless, ExpecT showing that he is he's well deserved to be in this closed qualifier.
Absolutely. Again, one of the favorites to qualify from this evening. Straight up just one of the players who was invited to the closed qualifiers, not having to risk anything in the open qualies.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, we expect a lot from him. I'm sure he does expect a lot from himself as well. Hopefully he wasn't resting on his laurels, you know, and he wasn't taking it easy because he's like, oh, you know, I got invited, I don't need to practice, I don't need to play. You know, there can be some players like that. Hopefully ExpecT wasn't one of them.
Yeah, hopefully it also wasn't the thing where it's like, oh cool, I got invited, and he thought it meant the main event and not the close qualifiers. That has happened before in the past.
Yeah. God damn it, Pig Jr.
I didn't want to name names. I didn't want to name names.
Oh, God. You know, things are slowly progressing here on 2000 atmospheres. Again, a map where you could try and go for some Roach Ravager styles. I wouldn't be surprised if GogojOey did open up Roaches again, but just to be a little bit aggressive. It's something that he's done every single game so far.
We're just right now is the time to switch things up. He is going for a bit of a quicker third base if my memory serves me. But ExpecT does scout that immediately. He knows that he should be safe, at least when it comes to the opening.
Oh yeah, definitely. Third base, everything's looking pretty normal for now. He hasn't had the best luck when it comes to scouting the Roach one whenever it's been thrown down. I don't think he's ever seen it before in this entire series. But we'll see if maybe he'll be able to see it if it does get thrown down.
Yeah, really good at the improvised defenses, though, I will say.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I guess that's one of the advantages, right, of just keeping your initial Hellions and your Reapers so far forward. You're able to scout your opponent as they move out. The Roach Roaring does go down, once again behind the natural line, mineral line.
Yeah. Once again, just like every single game. Obviously, in game 1, it was just to begin with, and then GogojOey did nicely transition into Lingbane Muta. In game 2, he committed a lot harder to it. Didn't have the best of luck, but GogojOey did show that he's capable of doing so. Meanwhile, Reaper, can he get behind the mineral line? Can he get into the natural? No.
Barely! Oh. The Queen is going to put a stop to that.
It does go down.
He should have an idea.
Yeah, he should have
potentially.
A decent,
he's still going for 2-1.
He is. So he's not gonna have that Banshee. But he throws down a bunker anyway. Like, he should be fine. Ooh, but the Hellions do get into the mineral line. Oh my.
And they do confirm the Roaches before they come out. One more volley. Takes out a couple of drones.
Mate. You know what? GogojOey, he is not just sending Roaches across the map. He's sending a massive wave of Lings as well.
This is the GogojOey we know and love. This is the aggressive Zerg. This isn't just some random, I'm gonna apply pressure on my Terran opponent with the Roaches. This is committed. Lings who managed to slip in. ExpecT has to defend 2 fronts.
Exactly. The SCVs are forced towards the natural base, but that is where the Roaches will be. Meanwhile, the Lings are still in the main base trying to dance around. They do get us around on some of these Lings. Sorry, Marines.
They're sending this Bio Force on a wild goose chase right now. Like, the corrosive vials will land on a couple of SCVs as well as on the bunkers. So many SCVs are already going down, Light.
Oh my god.
Might be able to go with his drop, but GogojOey's just pumping out more and more and more Lings, one after the other. No Banshees, no tanks. These Marauders, these Marines, in a lot of trouble. Stim does finish up.
Yeah, it does finish and he does push away the first wave of Roach Ravager, but as you were saying, we have nothing but Lings on the way for GogojOey. GogojOey well ahead in that worker count. ExpecT has to try and equalize in some way.
He is able to hot pick up, but with only 1 Marine and 1 Marauder, Light. He's reducing 3 Marines at a time, which is pretty good. Doesn't slip into mid-base this time.
He doesn't, but you know what? The Lings, they don't even care. They go toe-to-toe with whatever is here at the natural base. Nice hold position with those SCVs do make this a little bit awkward, and it looks like he may be able to just barely hold.
The repair on the bunker, the heals on the medevac is going to keep ExpecT alive, but look at that worker disparity, Light. ExpecT needs to go now, and I'm not convinced he's ready.
Even if he did go now, he would leave his base exposed, right? There would be nothing to defend.
Exposed.
And what would he leave with? He has 4 units, 5. This is it.
He needs to evacuate from the bunker. Best case scenario, ExpecT maybe goes for a quick third and just tries out macro GogojOey.
I mean, he has a third, right? Like, he has his orbital. Yeah, so he could attempt to land it, and as you said, he can try and macro and turtle up and get back into this, but he is miles behind GogojOey. There's nothing stopping him from taking a 4th base, teching up, going into lair, throwing down an infestation pit. My god. It's all about this drop, mate.
Really is. 1 drop in a dream right now for ExpecT. And again, there's not a lot of anti-air available right now for GogojOey. There's a lot he can do to pick up and drop and pick up and drop and pick up and drop just to keep GogojOey distracted while he macros up back at home.
And already 1 Queen almost goes down. The Lings, they are on their way. Forces to cancel on this spore. Here come the Lings. And this drop so far hasn't dealt any economic damage. Oh.
Yeah, but it does distract GogojOey for a little bit. That's a lot of Marine losses.
Yeah, oh god, and GogojOey, he has eyes across the map. He does see, he does take notes that the third base has landed.
And he's gonna make sure that that's not gonna be landed for long. As long as he's able to do the drop, of course.
And
Which he should be.
I mean, this, mate, you say a drop, it's 4 Marines, mate. Like,
yeah. It's a fall.
God,
More
but
a fall than a drop.
You know what? These 4 Marines, they do get a drain.
Yeah, almost gets a queen. GogojOey forced to pull back a lot of links here. He wanted to go for that third base light.
He did, but you know what? Now the third base has been semi-saturated. We do have a tank, 2 tanks on the low ground. He's working on his 4th. So yeah, ExpecT is doing a really good job at attempting to, again, get himself back into this game. GogojOey, he hasn't let up though. Again, his lings, they are going across the map. Banelings are being morphed in. I believe, yes, Baneling speed is already done. So is 1-1.
GogojOey is very far off creep right now, but he can totally get away with this. A hot pickup coming through. But again, not convinced it's going to be quite enough here. GogojOey does have to be very, very careful. 2 tanks will be enough to take out the Banelings.
God, exactly. He has to be careful with how he moves his army, how he splits his army, how he engages with both of these tanks. If he goes from one angle, multiple angles.
Looks like he's just willing to back away and regroup.
And
right,
what
a
I
lot
love,
of links coming down. He needs that buffer.
And in the past, it's taken him a long time to take up, but here we go. Infestation Pit is on the way. He is looking to go straight into Hive.
Might as well.
Oh boy.
He knows that ExpecT is going to leave him alone for quite some time. He's expecting ExpecT to stay on his center map.
Yeah, I mean, ExpecT is pushing out with a small drop, and to be fair, he needs to do something. He needs to do more than just turtle up at home, because he will just be left behind. This drop, there's a lot of potential here. There's a lot of Marines. Plus 1 attack did finish. You know, he's clearing up some creep.
Yeah, setting himself very nicely for a potential follow-up push. ExpecT. I don't think we really... It might be too early to say this, but he is 100% back in this game from the brink of defeat.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's still behind in certain respects. I mean, the Hive is on the way, mate, and I imagine GogojOey is going to go straight into Ultras, and there is no answer to Ultras right now. The Ultras are not on his mind right now at all.
Yeah, at the very least, he's stable, but for how long will he be? Oh, it's so important to scout this! But ExpecT will be deterred by the Spore Crawler. Super important for GogojOey to have had that. And the Banelings slide, try to connect on SCVs, but oh, the snipes. Very, very good. Only 7 of them go down.
Yeah, they do force a lift up. One of the tanks did fall at the same time. This drop is still stuck between these 3 bases, or these 3 areas, and he's kind of just stuck here for now. Hive is going to finish up shortly. GogojOey is currently down in supply, but ExpecT isn't being aggressive.
Not at all. GogojOey is down in supply, but he is way ahead in the income. He can make up for lost supply very, very quickly. That's a much better connection with the Banelings. An even better one there.
Exactly. Meanwhile, we have another drop coming here towards the third base of GogojOey. At the same time, that double drop goes into the 4th.
And back into the 3rd.
Not exactly. Looks like they were thwarted. Meanwhile, the main push, the main army is now headed across the map. Yo, and is GogojOey ready for this? He needs more Banelings.
He does need to buy himself some time. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, no light. GogojOey going for a massive ling run by of his own. ExpecT will be able to hold here, but these reinforcements really need to be on the other side of the map. GogojOey setting up for a flank here with everything he's got. It is pure ling bane. Doesn't have 3-3 quite yet, but it should just about be enough. That 5th hatchery will go down, but so will the entire Terran army.
Mate, he swallows up the army of ExpecT. There was nothing left remaining. Those reinforcements, they needed to be across the map if ExpecT wanted a chance at going toe-to-toe with that army. And you know what? We were alluding to it. We were bringing it up earlier, and here we go. 4 Ultras are on the way. 3 3s on the way. GogojOey just leaving ExpecT in the dust when it comes to the tech. And... oh boy.
It would have been super tempting just to go immediately across the map, wouldn't it, Light? But GogojOey, he knows how well ExpecT can defend. He is going to be, well, he's trading out some of his supply just to free it up. That's a massive Baneling dust.
That it is. So much of the bio already going down for ExpecT. More Banelings do find connections. Sure, it's not the best that they're connecting on Marauders, but they do go down. The Planetary goes down.
ExpecT really in a tough economic position, has a decent army on his hands, and again, he's just utilizing the lack of GogojOey's anti-air to keep him on his side of the map for as long as possible, but I feel like the fatal blow has already been dealt. ExpecT is just fighting for a few more minutes to live.
He definitely is. Like, he's stuck on 3 bases. He still has an army, and he can move out, but again, I just don't think he can really deal with these Ultras.
Yeah, he's got a couple of Marauders here, but he really needs to position them well enough. If he's not careful, the Marauders are just going to get surrounded by the Zerglings. It's a tough call to make.
Definitely, as this drop will finally be cleaned up. Has to be careful with his movements. The medevac almost going down. Meanwhile, there is this small drop looking to try and maybe hit one of the fringe bases of GogojOey, but I don't know how many more times I can say it, mate. That's Ultra.
Doesn't have much of an answer. ExpecT is going for Widowmine's line.
Oh, is he really?
Actually, it's the exact wrong time. Yep. Yes.
Oh
yes, 6 of them.
What are they gonna do against? This is not the answer to Ultras, mate. This is not. Oh no.
Couple of corruptives coming out now for GogojOey. He just cannot be bothered with the drops anymore.
No, finally getting some consistent anti-air units, and now he's maxed out, finally going to be pushing out across the map, looking to try and end the game. As you said, there are little widow mines spread out throughout the bases, and they can definitely deal with the Ling Bane, but they're going to tickle those Ultras. It's going to come down to the Marauder control here to really try and focus them down.
Oh no, a Widowmine shot already landing on the Overlord. That is the last thing what happened right now, Light. And then, okay, I thought that was the last thing what happened, but friendly fire is even worse.
And GogojOey, he's really respecting this defensive position when I don't think he really needs to. Oh my god, he's got to get over the base.
Really overwhelm. Oh, but the Banelings, the Widowmines are trying to connect. The Banelings are still very much in play, but the Lings have been dealt with. A lot more Banelings coming around there, hunting those SCVs, Light.
Oh my god, and they do hunt them down. 22 SCVs go down, the 3rd base falls. GG gets called.
GogojOey taking it to match point. And real quick, very much appreciate the update here. Blade, so Yogurt did not forfeit in the end. They are going to resume for replay.
Yeah, nicely done. It seems to have just been a temporary internet issue where he DC'd and they can just resume and continue on. But yeah, I mean, what an intense game. Oh boy. I just loved how, I mean, everything looks similar, right? We see the Roach opening coming out from GogojOey, but every single game, like, he's had like a different approach to it, right? You know, it was one of them being, you know, not too committed, or what just happened in the previous game, right? Where he just Ling floods behind it and just overwhelms his opponent.
What did they say? The tool is the opportunity, and it's all about how you use it. GogojOey really showing off the multiple different uses of Roach opening. And now we're going to go into Blackburn Light. I'm so glad we got to cast this map in this particular matchup. I gotta be honest, as much as we know GogojOey for being the aggressor, for being a little bit cheeky, I have a funny feeling that ExpecT will be the one to utilize the map early on.
It's very possible. I mean, there's a lot that can go into this, right? Obviously, the map is short distance by air. But
it's not the right map, goddammit.
Yeah, but there are also gold bases, at least if we're referring to Blackburn. It does seem that they may have forgotten their vetoes, so we will not be playing on Blackburn, unfortunately, and it looks like we are going to be remaking on Romanticide.
Alright, you know what? Let's just take everything we said in the past 1 minute and replace Blackburn with Romanticide. I think it still applies.
And just reverse it. There is no gold base on Romanticide. And it isn't a short rush distance by air. Just reverse it. Everything we said, just reverse it. It's the exact opposite. It's as far as you can get from Blackburn.
Ease mode. There's no slow zones, but I guess there aren't any speed zones either, so
No, just no zones.
yeah. The entire map is a zone, if you will.
There you go. As we are just waiting for everyone to get into the lobby, it seems that the observer for ALGS or caster, one of the two, does need to get in here. And then we can just get into game number 4.
I was gonna say dos, but game number dos plus dos.
Nah.
And we do actually have a bit of a update here in the lower bracket, like kind of an upset. Not what I was expecting by any means. Mystery Man, otherwise known as Rilakuma, takes out Nazin 2-0. We'll be waiting for the loser of, I believe, Yoga versus Javier. Loser of this series is going to go up against Beastork, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, blood has been drawn. F's in the chat. Both Eternity and Naxian have both been knocked out of the closed qualifiers. That's it. The tournament runs have ended.
Yeah, you have to come back next season. But honestly, I really appreciate what we were able to see of them in whether it was the open qualifiers or today. But regardless, we're continuing our series on Romanticide, the reverse Blackburn, if you want to call it that. We're in the top left-hand corner map, starting all the way into top left-hand corner. The Blue Zerg player coming down from the land of Hong Kong, the best player from Hong Kong, and honestly very much on track to qualify tonight. He is representing himself. He is GogojOey.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Romanticide ALE, we have his opponent, probably the best opponent he could have had here, as he is the best Terran in all of Taiwan, representing Naive Dream World. It is ExpecT.
No puns this time.
No puns. Alright, what do you expect?
Well, I was honestly anticipating some 2-racks shenanigans.
Honestly, I was
not from
well.
ExpecT.
I was assuming that our Terran player here would go for some cheese on Romanticide. I don't know if I like his chances in a long macro game. On a map like Romanticide.
Romanticide, right?
Yeah. After what we've seen, it feels like GogojOey has the edge.
Absolutely. Well, I guess it could be I guess there's two sides to that coin, though, like, right? Because ExpecT, very, very good defensive player, at least against Zerg. And Romanticide is very much a defensive map. The question is, what is the end game for Terran in that scenario? If ExpecT goes up to 4 bases and then fortifies with a whole bunch of tanks, what is the end game? This is not PvZ.
Right, like we saw it on Jagannatha, where ExpecT kind of like turtled up a little bit, got maxed out, then finally pushed out across the map, and every single time that happened, his army would just get eaten up by the Zerg. He would just be surrounded and engulfed by the swarm of GogojOey. To be fair, on Romanticide, I mean, due to the rocks, like there are some better tank locations that you can take advantage of, but I would expect GogojOey to be a kind of player to deal with those rocks by the time that kind of push happens. So I'm a little bit concerned for ExpecT. I do think it's on him to adapt to what GogojOey has been doing in this series.
Yeah, GogojOey hasn't really switched things up too much, aside from Lightshade, where he decided to be super, super dedicated to Roach Ravager.
Definitely.
But going back to the Lightshade game, I think if ExpecT goes for a very drop-focused style, he's going to have a lot more success. As you were saying, there's a lot of spots for tanks here on Romanticide. You can absolutely multi-prong and have a lot of success with it.
You definitely can. I do like this. ExpecT already switching things up. No longer is he going for a 2-on-1. Now, straight up 1-1-1.
Okay. Not going too greedy with it either, and there we go. He is gonna be getting the Banshee out. I say that. We did see some Terran players go for Ravens first in TVC lately.
We did, but I don't know if that's ExpecT's style. As there we go, he is going for a Banshee. It's what we've seen throughout the majority of these games. Meanwhile, of course, just like how he's done every single game, we have a Roach Warren for GogojOey.
Yeah, this time shouldn't do as much damage. In fact, I'm hesitant to say I'm hesitant to say if it'll do damage at all. What with the rush distance and the Banshees coming out here for ExpecT. But regardless, it's just a way for GogojOey to establish some early map control and apply a little bit of pressure on his Terran opponent. So far, he has not been too aggressive with his Roach rushes. Even in 2000's atmosphere, it was more of a Zergling rush with some Ravager support.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I do want to also say that GogojOey scouted the opener as well, so he knows that Banshees are going to be coming out. He even sees it move out here. So, I mean, he's well aware. There we go. He just turns around. He's like, I want none of that.
My Roaches don't know how to shoot up yet.
Not yet, man.
I ain't messing with them Banshees.
Exactly. So really nice decision making here by GogojOey. He gets his first roaches out and they are able to defend against any kind of Hellion aggression, and he is now safe to drone up and defend his bases from those Banshees.
Yeah, even though he took the more forward third base, has the opportunity to fortify as much as he needs to. It's a very interesting paradigm shift. This is not a maybe it still is, but we just so happen to cast as players who stylistically chose to get the forward third bases.
I mean, again, we've seen it more and more often on a lot of these maps just because of the creep thread, and it does make a lot of sense, right?
True.
Like, you want to make it as hard as possible for these frontal assaults to really push into your bases from the Terrans, because we've seen how scary they can be.
Yeah, especially in this series. In particular, the Spore not quite in range to start shooting. Will provide some vision, but two Banshees can definitely go toe-to-toe with two Queens. Very good target fire coming up from ExpecT. The Helly's coming in! Not getting drone damage yet. Funnily enough, finishing the damage on those rocks for GogojOey.
Yeah, it was kind of weird to see there, but in the end, it looks like the Roaches will be able to push away these Hellions. For now, the Queens are showing up. The Banshees are low, but both Banshees do still survive.
And that's kind of the backbone right now for ExpecT. The Queens all go down. Not a lot of anti-air here. Hellions are going to have a field day on this mineral line light, but they do need to align their volleys.
Oh god, that they do. Meanwhile, enough time has passed where the Lings finally came out and the Hellions will be cleaned up. Honestly, that could have been a lot worse for GogojOey.
Absolutely could have. All it took was a couple more Hellion volleys, and that third mineral line would have been a goner.
Oh yeah, exactly. A lot more drones would have gone down. Honestly, I think GogojOey was a little bit lucky. I do think he should have been punished a little bit more there, because what GogojOey was doing was he was droning up. I mean, look, he has 70 workers. Like, he was being very greedy, and he was being punished for it.
That is what you want in the end game for Zerg. Well, maybe you want 80 workers, but yeah, when you're going to the mid game, it's usually recommended you stop at around 50 to 60.
And he's almost there, almost at that 80 count. He's working on his fourth base as well. He does scout that the army is pushing out with this spotterling.
And he is just getting ready for this push, making sure that he has as many flanks open to him.
Yeah, exactly.
Needs to buy a lot of time for those mutas to pay off.
Meanwhile, massively more. Oh my god, he gets on top of the tank!
Just like so. We'll be able to take it out, which, not the biggest damage in the world, but against a player like ExpecT, keeping the tank how low is going to have a knock-on effect.
Yeah, unfortunately, just because of the amount of tanks that ExpecT makes, it's going to be difficult to keep it low, but, you know, whatever it takes, right?
Even taking out one tank can potentially be valuable. I'm not saying it's gonna be.
Yeah, it can be. Meanwhile, the Banshees, they come back in. They actually went back home to be repaired. They snipe a Queen. Oh my god, and now more drones do fall.
But not for too much longer. That's gonna be the end of the Banshee harass. GogojOey, unfortunately, was forced to reveal the Mutalisk a lot earlier. And but ExpecT was preparing for potential mutas regardless.
Yeah, he's throwing down a couple more turrets since he now has confirmation. He's like, oh my, okay, I need to take this very seriously. Make sure he covers his production as well. But I do like this from GogojOey, going Lingbane Muta, completely abandoning all those roaches that he went for earlier. This is great, and we'll see if he's able to catch some of this army. Again, there's a very strong push. Get scouted.
I'm a little bit worried for GogojOey now, Light, because as we saw, ExpecT can make Widow Mines.
He can. He hasn't, but he can.
He had to the last game, but not in this game. He's actually going for Thors, which I'm not against.
Yeah, I'm not against that either.
Very good. I think it is going to be a very good option here. Can definitely take a couple of bailing shots. Oh, GogojOey fighting very far off creep. A lot of bailings connected with tanks. One connection is all he needs, though. But that was a very inefficient trade. GogojOey's not yet at his late game economic stage to trade this inefficiently.
Yeah, exactly. But what I will say is that ExpecT, oh my god, he was splitting so well, and towards the end he just gave up, mate. And oh my god, those Marines just accepted their fate, hands wide open, and just accepted those bailings. Ay, ay, ay.
Come to me, my bailing brothers.
Jesus
I will embrace
Christ.
you.
Oh god. It looked like honestly it looked like ExpecT may have started to snowball there, but as we saw, the bailing connections were on point, and this is amazing, right? This is a different ExpecT, not just Widowmines but also Thor's. Like, he's taking the anti-muta approach very seriously.
And now it's very much on to GogojOey to switch things up here. Don't believe he has Hive quite yet.
Yeah, he's still on there. There we go. Immediately, as soon as you say that, he starts the infestation bit.
Ah, he heard.
Made that 2-minute delay.
He heard it through the brain.
He did. I don't know if that's impressive or concerning.
Very concerning if you have access to my brain.
Oh no!
Of all the brains you could have access to. That's a bet luck on your end.
Exactly. Meanwhile, some nice damage is being done by these mutas. The main army is trying to fortify this 4th base. A lot of Widowmines here, 4 to be exact, alongside that Thor.
I thought you said Thor Widowmines, to be exact. I was like, what?
That'd be terrifying.
But there are 4 Widowmines as well as the Thor.
Oh,
Mula's really trying to just drag the army apart. 2-2 did finish up just in time. But going to be a distinct lack of 33, and yeah, more turrets are not going to be able to get up. The mine's actually connecting with the banelings, or the other way around there. Not the most efficient trade for GogojOey. He is starting to get to a fairly comfortable economy, but he is not banking up nearly enough minerals as he should when he's trading this inefficiently.
Yeah, definitely. But you know what? ExpecT is stuck at home trying to chase down all of these mutas. These mutas are starting to deal a lot of damage. They were able to focus down that missile turret, forces all the Marines back home.
Very nicely done here. A lot of SCVs going down as well. But GogojOey is far from starting to snowball. This is some nice little economic advantages he's taken here and there. But he's unable to really capitalize on them just yet.
Yeah, he's waiting for his opponent to push onto creep. Like, that's the moment that GogojOey needs right now, and we're going to see it shortly. Ooh, does take a couple of Thor volleys to the face by his mutas. He's able to escape, but here comes the main army.
And it's getting to creep. A lot of Lingbane, but they are... Okay, 2-2 did just finish up. So they're both going to be even on upgrades. It's all going to be about these Widowmines. Like, they can be a very efficient form of AoE, but they can also be very unreliable.
Meanwhile, I want to praise ExpecT. Look at that pre-split, by the way. He is ready for the Lingbane. He's clearing up all this creep. It is slowly receding. Oh my god, this forced a couple of Lingbane in.
And it's even more important to get the pre-split when you're on Widowmines, right?
Exactly.
I will say it's a little bit harder to beat the Zerg army trying to get on top of these Marines, but the Marauders and the Widowmines will deal with them. Trying to go for a flank, but look at the Widowmines light! They all shoot their shot, but they're so far off creep. Look at the splits coming out from ExpecT.
Oh my god, and there are just so many Marines here. How many Bailings are left? 0, mate, and there is nothing to stop this ExpecT army from pushing on forward and taking down this hatchery.
Even taking out the Mutalists as they come out of the eggs, of the cocoons.
Oh god, exactly. The hatchery falls. The drones are starting to fall as well. GogojOey, he needs to buy time for these Bailings. Without Bailings, well, how the hell are you going to fight against the Marines?
Even with Bailings, are you going to fight against the Marines as effectively as you should?
Oh god, he's
going
going in.
Are starting to borrow decent connects on the Widowmines, but the Widowmine connections are even better than Bailings. It's what I was trying to say. Not sure what came out of my mouth there.
I mean, GogojOey traded fairly well, and I feel like ExpecT, he realizes that. He's like, okay, I barely have anything left. I need to turn around. I need to regroup. I need to take a moment to breathe. Meanwhile, GogojOey, oh, he's trying to catch a couple of reinforcements. He does catch some Widowmines, but he has to be careful of the Thor.
Tries to magic box it, but he knows that the Marines are in the vicinity. And ExpecT, he realizes, hey, I just took out one of the freshest base of my Zerg opponent. They are really, and especially a Zerg opponent who wants to start trading inefficiently, this is massive for me. I could just go back, secure my own expansions, wait for my 3-3 to finish up, and go for that round 2. Ultralisk Cavern is about to finish up, but 3-3 already done right now for ExpecT.
Yeah, meanwhile, this army does get a little bit caught off guard. The Wintermines, oh god, they go off!
And they go off on so many links and a couple of Banelings here, like, ExpecT gonna be perpetually ahead. GogojOey's out of money!
Yeah, I was about to say, mate, GogojOey went for a bold move. He finished up his Hive, he finished up his Ultra Cavern, he's going straight into Ultras. He needs a little bit more time though. He needed his mutas to Ultra, exactly. He needs his mutas to buy time. Oh god, he runs into the army!
Does back away without taking too much damage. He needs everything he's got, but I don't think that even that's gonna be enough late.
Exactly. ExpecT is maxed out. GogojOey, he's down 60, almost 60 supply, mate.
Last thing you want is the Zerg players have half the army supply as your Terran opponent. ExpecT just really pressing forward here.
And really, this goes to show the power of the Widowmine as GogojOey, this is his last hurrah. He dives in with his Lingbane and his Lone Ultra.
Decent Balin connections, but there's just way too much Terran. Widowmine actually killing the Ultra.
And that's the nail in the coffin if I've ever seen one, mate. When the Widowmine kills the Ultra, you know something's not right there.
That's a symbolic victory.
Exactly. This is what I mean.
That precedes an actual victory.
That's what I mean. Like, ExpecT last game, he learned how to make Widowmines, and here he was able to incorporate the Widowmines, not just that, but the Thors as well, to just hard counter what GogojOey was going for. GogojOey, he just really struggled to engage with this army time and time again, and ExpecT, oh god, he's just been trading so beautifully.
Yeah, GogojOey really struggling to get the flanks out. These Ultras have no buffer. GG's call. ExpecT takes us to the ace match.
Wow.
That means we will see Blackburn.
Unless it was vetoed, as they both got one veto each.
Maybe. Maybe.
Boy, wow. GG, well played. Really, we knew that this was the series to follow. We knew to follow GogojOey, and now he's had an intense back and forth with ExpecT. And now I feel like GogojOey has to approach this in a different manner. I say that, I can't get too ahead of myself because first we need to find out what map we're going to be on.
Exactly. Gonna be on Blackburn. There's a million and one things you can do, but only about 2 of them, alright?
Exactly. Meanwhile, thank you so much, Blade SC2, for keeping us updated. It looks like the first qualifying match has already ended.
Yeah, Yogurt taking out Javier 3-1 will be your first player to qualify for the DreamHack Massive Summer Taiwan-Hong Kong main event. And Javier, meanwhile, going down to face B-Stork in the lower bracket. Already a qualifying match.
Yeah, I imagine Renegade is now covering that series. We, of course, will be following R1 into our lower bracket as well. Mystery Man waiting for the loser of ExpecT and GogojOey.
Who does he anticipate?
Aha! Who does he predict?
Who does he... No, that's expert.
God damn it.
It's very similar words if you think about it.
Are they? Are they similar?
I mean, they may or may not have very different meanings. But here we are in the ace match, concluding our upper bracket qualifying matches. Who is going to have a weight off their shoulders and advances to the main event, and who is going to have to face Mystery Man in the lower bracket? That is what we're going to figure out on Oxide LE. The top right-hand corner map starting all the way in the top right-hand corner. The blue Zerg player coming down from the land of Hong Kong, the best player in all of Hong Kong. When he's in form, he is a monster, but he is a monster that bleeds. He is GogojOey.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Oxide LE, we have the best Terran player in all of Taiwan. He is red, representing Team Naive Dream Worlds. It is ExpecT.
Oh boy, neither player really going for anything too cheesy in the ace match.
Exactly, not yet anyway. And what I really appreciate about ExpecT is I feel like over the course of this series, we've seen him grow and adapt to what GogojOey has been going for. And that is why, like, mate, that last game, that was the most dominant showing we've seen from ExpecT.
Absolutely. And it wasn't just the Widowmines, right? It was that ExpecT was being so active on the map. He was clearing up so much creep. He never engaged unless he already had a very good position with his pre-splits. Always forced GogojOey to fight off a creep. Can he pull that off once again? We'll have to see. Oxide definitely I want to say it's a different map from Romanticite, but more often than not, we actually see longer macro games on Oxide.
We have seen some long drawn out like split map scenarios on Oxide of all maps. I think maybe more than Romanticite, to be honest.
In recent times, definitely, but overall, we'll have to check.
Yeah, it's definitely up there. Are we going to end up in that scenario? It's going to be up to GogojOey, depending on how aggressive he wants to be. As we've seen, he can be one to go for some big Roach, Link Flood all-ins, or he can just go more towards the more macro side of things. I feel like it's on GogojOey and what his plan is here in the Ace match.
Yeah, despite the races here going, GogojOey has been the more active player in the series. ExpecT a lot more reactive.
Yeah, which, I mean, judging by the kind of player he's up against, it makes a lot of sense that he would take that role in this series. And honestly, it's been working well for him so far.
Well, it's literally been 50-50, hasn't it?
True.
But when it has worked, it's worked well.
As we do see a 1-1-1 coming out here for ExpecT, I imagine he wants to go into those Banshees once again.
And is this where GogojOey switches things up? Again, we've seen from a lot of players who usually go in with the philosophy of, I'm going to do the same thing in my opening each and every time until my opponent's able to really definitively hold against that. And GogojOey is not quite getting the Roach Warren yet.
Yeah, I think
he's aware of...
That's the most interesting part about this, is that there is no Roach Warren. He should have one by now. He straight up should. And at the moment, he's just been focusing on droning up. He's focusing on Queen production. Has a handful of wings.
Getting some spores. He's anticipating the Banshees this time. Well, he's only getting one spore so far.
Yeah, and
but still, it's at the back of his mind.
Something else that's very intriguing is that he's going straight into Lair.
Oh my.
We could be seeing. Okay. The Bane Nest is thrown down. I was about to like, yo, are we gonna see some mutas? Are we gonna see some fast muta play? We'll keep an eye on the gases. Again, the Lair is still lined up where maybe he prioritizes Baneling speed as soon as the Lair finishes, you know, and he goes for that instead. But again, mutas is still on the table.
Yeah, it's really going to depend on what he scouts, right? If he
gets the rest of his
sees
gases.
that ExpecT is going to be very aggressive, that he's probably going to prioritize Baneling speed, but as you said, does get both gases. The Lair's about to finish up.
That it does. We'll see what the choice is here for. Yep, there we go. Mate, show us the spire.
Dude!
I saw you, Drone. I saw you get singled out. Show it to us.
He's not selecting it anymore. He's selecting it. There's that spire we know and love. Honestly, kind of a silver bullet build coming out here from GogojOey. Super important he kept it for this long.
Exactly. I just love the way that this series have played out, where every single game GogojOey has gone for the Roach Warren with his roaches. Right now, finally in the ace match of all matches, he does something completely different, skips the Roach Warren, and this could just completely catch ExpecT by surprise.
It definitely can, which is why I think it is pretty important that the Banshees and the Hellions even are so far forward right now. GogojOey needs to hit with the element of surprise, and if he uses the Mutas to deal with the Banshees, ExpecT has some time to get some missile towers out. Position a couple of Marines here and there.
Exactly, yo, those Banshees are getting dangerously close. Oh my god, they see it, they spot it. Oh god.
And that is all he really needs right now. ExpecT should be breathing real easy. knowing what's coming his way.
Like, this is on GogojOey. GogojOey, like, I love going for Spire like this, but every single game, or almost every single game, his opponent has gone for Banshees like this. You know, you have to anticipate that this is happening. You have to try and deny the scouts, and the Queens were not in position, and these Banshees are still dealing more and more damage. Oh my god, 9 drones!
9 drones! And this is before the mutas come out.
Yeah. What the hell the mutas gonna do? Like the mutas are gonna shut down the Banshees. Sure, they can do that. But because they got scouted, we should be seeing missile turrets.
Solid should.
Yeah.
Solid should.
Did ExpecT click on it? Did he not click on it?
Should.
Did he not click on what? He saw it.
Solid should.
The Banshees saw it. Okay, there we go. He has
now there are a couple of missile turrets,
okay.
but is it gonna be too late? Okay, the Mutalisk actually distracted a little by the Banshee, so ExpecT is buying himself a lot of time. Not too many Mutas out here, but it can still find a couple angles here and there that missile turrets are gonna reach.
They can. Thankfully, the missile turrets are there, so they're not gonna have free reign of the bases. You know, they have to be careful with how they maneuver, with how the control is. Oh.
And so far, only going for the side. Supply depots is the only thing he can shoot right now.
Oh,
which might as well. I mean, he's got a supply cap ExpecT for a little bit.
That he is. Ooh, there's this one muta there on the retreat. What I'm surprised by is that GogojOey is still making more mutas. I would have loved if, because he knows that he got scouted, he would only commit to a handful of mutas and then just go back into Ling Bane. But he is still committing, even getting +1 fire attack.
Huh. Hopefully he's able to get the Apocalypse of Mutas out before ExpecT really focuses on getting Widow Mines. Not producing out of his tanks, out of his factories just yet, but there are already 3 tanks. This push is looking terrifying right now, Light.
God, that it is. There is a lot of Ling Bane here. It doesn't look like he has that much Ling, but I mean, he should be able to collapse on this army. GogojOey should have enough, depending on how he engages. Oh my god, the Mutas, no!
They're trying to find the lone tanks over here. Actually picking out a couple of Marines in small pockets here and there. Tanks are starting to get very exposed, so Light.
Oh, that they are. GogojOey, he's getting ready for a full 360 surround. It looks like he should be able to get it. Oh my god, ExpecT still staying deep in creep.
Yeah, he's just waiting for those Marines to move a little bit out of position. He wants to go in with his Mutalisk, take out the tanks, and then let the Ling Bane deal with the Marines. Gotta back away, GogojOey, gotta back away.
He's going in.
So to go in from both angles, and those tanks are super exposed. Like the Zerglings get a complete surround, and it's nothing but Marines. They deal with the Mutalisk, but it's the Ling Bane that you gotta worry about when you have Marines.
Yes, but something that just happened was that GogojOey lost every single muta.
Every single one of them? I thought he lost most of them, not every single one of them.
These are the mutas that he has now. That just popped out from the eggs. It looked like he A-moved his entire army, including those mutas, into the Marines that were chasing them.
And now those Marines still survive due to the hot pickup.
Oh boy. So GogojOey, I mean, he traded well against the tank army, but losing mutas like that, having your muta count reset is disastrous. That is so much gas.
It's arguably worse than getting a tank count reset, especially if you're transitioning to Widowmine Thor.
Yeah. Oh boy.
ExpecT up a lot of army supply right now, Light, and he is entrenching himself on this foothold.
Exactly. Now the rest of the mutas, they all get picked off. There's only one muta remaining. The Ling Bane does connect, but there's just not enough Ling Bane. And now ExpecT, he's just stimming forward, and he's going to be able to take down this base.
He's got all the momentum on his side right now. A couple of Widowmines trying to burrow. Banelings starting to surround a couple of these Marines. Not too much bio left, but where's the Ling Bane, Light?
It's nowhere to be seen. It is only Ling. Okay, a couple of Banes do come in. It looks like just barely GogojOey has enough to hold on. Oh.
But that army is still threatening.
It is, and there's barely any creep. That's the most terrifying part. Like, he needs to try and respread it, but he can't because the army is waiting for it.
He really needs to taunt ExpecT to go deep into creep, but he ain't taking the bait right now, Light. Clearing it out just before GogojOey has enough banelings to really deal with this. Another pre-split.
Yeah.
Beautifully done.
It's beautiful, mate. ExpecT, he will eventually take this base out. At the same time, there is a bit of a Ling run by, but it runs into reinforcements. It does get cleaned up.
And ExpecT is just riding that momentum.
Exactly. Unbarring the Widow Mines, going now down deeper into creep. There is Ling Bane here. Is it enough though? There's still Widow Mines that haven't gone off.
Not quite yet. A lot of SCVs have gone down for ExpecT, so he definitely needs to try to equalize the damage right now, and it looks like he will do a lot more than that. I say that, but the Ling Bane's coming in light.
It's coming in.
And the Marines are quite split.
Oh my god, there's only 2 Banelings left and they do connect, but at the end of the day, that is it. Those were the last Banelings for GogojOey.
Here comes the Link for a bit of a surround.
That is
Does
true.
ExpecT it. Oh!
We'll see if he just barely has enough. There are Banelings on the way, but they're not done yet. Oh my god, and
there's so many Marine reinforcements.
But you know what, there is
actually
a
getting
lot of
some friendly fire out.
Yeah,
Sorry.
honestly, and as all this has been happening, something that we haven't really been paying attention is that SCVs have been falling. It looks like there was maybe a Baneling run by somewhere and 20 SCVs went down.
GogojOey's back in this game. He has a better economy, and he's evening out the army supply.
Yeah, exactly. Like, again, 20 SCVs fell there. During all of that, he was able to go for a run by, and as a result, GogojOey, he has a better economy. He still needs more Banelings. Like, he's still under threat, but, like, he survived.
Okay, he needs more Banelings, he needs more Lings, he needs to respread his creep. He's getting 3-3 on the way. ExpecT still very much on 2-2. He has a much better production for now, though. So he is able to pump out Bio after Factory after Starport.
God, that he is. Meanwhile, the Widow Mines, oh my god!
Not quite getting the friendly fire here. Actually, no, he did.
Yeah, he
the
did.
Medivacs are gone.
The Medivacs are gone. This drop will be cleaned up, forced all the way back. And now, that momentum that ExpecT had earlier, it's gone, mate. It's gone. He just doesn't have it.
Yeah, he has some energy left. By energy, I mean, you know, I'm trying to do a physics thing, but I fail physics. He has the army supply to try to get the momentum back, but it's very, very difficult once you lose it as a Terran player.
Yeah, exactly. And there is now Ling Bane ready and waiting for the army. And the problem is that, you know what? Now there are no more Widow Mines.
That there is not, but there's still not a lot of creep left. I believe he has concussive shells. Actually, he doesn't. ExpecT doesn't.
Yeah, he does not. He's just backing off. He's reinforcing his army, you know, regrouping here towards his bases. But the longer he takes, you know what? Now those Ultras, they are on the way.
It's only a Thor and, what, 2 Marauders here?
Yeah.
To be fair, Kindness Plating isn't quite done yet. Neither is 3-3, but...
It's on the way, though. Like, again, like, ExpecT is on a timer.
Yeah, very much so. No easy answer for the Ultralists over here. I really like that GogojOey is keeping them hidden for as long as possible. Banelings try to connect.
Yeah, they do find some juicy connections there. A lot of those Marines are in the red. The Ultra buff's out!
It's time to go, it's time to go! Okay, GogojOey doesn't want to engage off creep here, but he can try to go for a surround. In fact, he's setting it up right now.
Exactly, he's setting it up, mate. He's ready for the surround. He's ready for it. Waiting for a couple of upgrades to finish up, but now it's go time.
Indeed, it is. He's terrified of the Widow Mines, as he should be, but they end up connecting on the Ultras in the end. 3-3 about to finish up. Kindness Plating has been done for a while, and this is going to be GogojOey's time, I want to say, but he needs more army.
That he does. Meanwhile, he does clean up a drop here towards the bottom right, but here we go. Another drop here towards the top. Can he get another base? Yo, it looks like he may be able to. The Ultras, they're not fast enough.
If he focuses down the hatchery, he's starting to target it down, and it will fall. Meanwhile, behind this, ExpecT has been double expanding.
The Ultra Cavern! Oh! No, it's gonna go down! Will it?
Right now.
Oof.
Not quite yet. It will eventually if he doesn't get creep spread.
He needs to get some creep over there, mate. So desperately, the drop, it still hasn't been dealt with. Finally, a couple of Corruptors are coming out.
This is getting way too close to call light.
Oh god, ExpecT, mate. He is not slowing down. Meanwhile, GogojOey, he's supply blocked!
Now we might be able to call it. ExpecT moving out. He has been able to rebuild his army, retake his bases. GogojOey, again, he's out of money. He's forced to remake Overlords. Never want to be down on army supply when you're up against a Terran player.
Oh god, exactly. And the Banelings, some of them do connect on the Marauders. Oh god, but the Ultras are getting on top of the army.
They are, surprisingly enough. It is a much higher army supply right now for ExpecT, but it's mostly Marines. And that's exactly what Ultras want to deal with, but it cannot fight too far off creep, especially when it's being flanked by Marauders.
Exactly, and they also need a buffer as well, somehow, someway. Okay, there we go. The Woodmine will get picked off. Oh, and do have a bit of a Ling run by. 10 SCVs do go down.
Not too bad here. Again, whatever GogojOey can do to keep ExpecT back. Once again, the army supplies are getting real close. And both players are just about out of money.
They are. Well, that's why this bottom right-hand base is so important for ExpecT. Meanwhile, GogojOey, he's desperately trying to mine from this center base. Oh god, both players looking to try and get whatever expansions they can.
Always picking the army apart. GogojOey is preventing the expansion from going up. Oh, the Ultras are so low light!
Oh, that thing up, but the planetary does go down. The repair was not fast enough. Oh my god, so many SCVs just fell, just evaporated.
GogojOey, you can fight this, you can fight this. He will back away. And ExpecT is starting to get real desperate. I still think he has an army that can make things happen, especially if he fights off creep, but no, that also happens.
It's slowly been getting low this entire time. Eventually it will fall, and that means no more Ultras for GogojOey.
For the time being. To be fair, it's mostly Lingbane he wants right now.
True.
It's so low, like, it's so low.
More than Lingbane, he needs Queens to transfuse. Okay, that's what he needs. He needs to get these Ultras back up and running.
It's so low in health.
Oh god, meanwhile, this drop will be dealt with at the same time he's getting ready for a bit of a surround. Oh, there are a lot of Widow Mines here.
Yeah, GogojOey needs to be patient right now. He needs to wait for ExpecT to make one false move. ExpecT, meanwhile, needs to make sure he doesn't make any false moves. GogojOey's going straight for it. Once again, fighting very far off of creep. I do believe Metabolic was finished earlier on. It did, but Ultras is still very, very clumsy off creep. ExpecT starting to move in, takes such a good advantage here.
Yeah, I mean, GogojOey, he was able to take down a lot of those Widow Mines, a lot of the army, but it looks like this hatchery will fall. And this was the last real mining base for GogojOey.
Both players are so out of money, like.
Oh my god, GogojOey, he just doesn't have any minerals. He has gas, but he just doesn't have any minerals to spend it.
He cannot fight without everything. He cannot fight without everything. He cannot fight without a surround either. And ExpecT is looking to prevent that surround. Really good positioning on the Marauders over here. The Ultras are starting to come in.
Oh, but the Ultras
really keeping up. The Ultras, they're starting to move forward though. Starting to get a bit of a body blow. It's slow.
Mate, the Ultras are all going to go down. They barely have any health remaining, and without the Ultras, there's nothing else left.
Both players are even on army supply for a while, but let's not forget, GogojOey, a lot of his supply is in Corruptors. He's dealt with the Medivacs. This bio army doesn't have too much sustainability, but I don't know, both players so out of money. GogojOey starting to get some Lingbane.
Yeah, the hatchery does fall. GogojOey now down to one base. 53 drones on this one base. God. It's the long distance mine, buddy. Just do whatever you can. Oh god, he also, again, like these Ultras. Another Ling run by here does take a lot of the SCVs. These Ultras are basically dead supply at this point. Like, a sneeze will kill them. Oh,
literally and figuratively. So we're going to try to get on top of the Marauders right now. Try to draw some friendly fire away. There is an Unburrow. And that gives GogojOey a little bit of opportunity. Still one middle line. It will connect with Corruptors mostly. The Balix are starting to come in. The Corruptors are attacking the Medivacs. I don't know who to call it for.
Oh, I feel like GogojOey should have chased out with the Corruptors, mate. He should have chased down those Medivacs. ExpecT, he does back off. ExpecT, mate, how many workers does he have here? Okay, he has a decent amount mining at the planetary. Does land a couple of mules. That orbital almost burning down. I just realized that orbital is the main base. Oh no, never mind. The main base is floating over to take another.
It's so important to keep the orbitals alive in it with all the supply. GogojOey, he's on one base. He has the better economy for now, but he's on a timer.
Long distance mine, buddy. Just send them across.
You have enough workers to spare.
Oh my god. Meanwhile, finally a queen is on the way. Get those energy based units out there. Get them to transfuse. Keep these Ultras alive. 2 Ultras at full health would be huge right now.
But right now he doesn't even have 1 Ultra between them. He's got 2, but they're on literally about like 20% health.
Exactly. Oh god, I wouldn't even mind him. No, don't do it, puppy. Don't do it. God, these Ultras are so valuable. They're so expensive.
Keep them alive. Keep them alive. Keep them alive.
I kind of want him to just go with his Corruptors and like hit this planetary, find an angle on the left-hand side, and just caustic spray. You know, like.
And then if you really wanted to, you could try to go for the orbital since it's going to be distracted. He's pulling the boy slide. I'm not sure how I feel about this.
Oh,
okay, he's pulling up to the other base. Never mind. Okay.
It's not attacking, it's fine. Scan does get used. He does see that, you know what, you're not mining from this space over on the left-hand side. I'm okay. Both players are just kind of taking a moment to breathe right now.
I feel for Mystery Man. He is going to be waiting a while.
Oh, and there we go. Finally, the transfuses are happening. It's only one at a time, but it matters so much.
Really does. GogojOey is getting a little bit antsy, starting to position himself in the middle of the map, which, to be fair, does want to try to catch ExpecT's army before he can borrow the Widow Mines, before he can really establish much of a foothold.
Yeah, he keeps sending his link here towards the bottom right. What's scary is that he actually has no idea about this space here towards the center left. He has not scouted this at all. He has no idea that this is where he should be pressuring.
He really does not. I think he saw a little bit of a glimpse of the orbital floating earlier, but
he sees now.
Confirmation now he sees.
And immediately his army moves over.
Waiting for the right moment to go in. So many Widow Mines fortifying that position. Light. It is gonna take 1,001 army supply to trade efficiently for GogojOey.
And I don't like this choice. He's going for the Ultra Cavern. You know what would be a big brain play right now?
No.
You know what would be a
Greater
massive
Spire?
brain? Mate, Greater Spire. Greater Spire would be a massive brain play right now. He has the Corruptors. Morph into Broodlords. Broodlords can siege and can do so well, force a lot of friendly fire from those Widow Mines.
You think maybe he just forgot about his Spire?
It's very easy to forget about like just Broodlords in general.
Yeah.
Oh god, but Broodlords would be amazing right now. Meanwhile, GogojOey being so bold, expanding to the bottom right.
That's a ballsy move.
No.
The army's starting to reposition. Light. It's mostly Marauders and Widow Mines. There is some opportunity here for GogojOey, but this is going to be such a tough case to crack.
Oh god, GogojOey, he barely catches a glimpse. He's being distracted by this army here towards the top left. He has to deal with that at the same time. Oh my god, he's going for multiple. He catches all the drones.
He does catch all the drones. ExpecT knows exactly where GogojOey wants to expand. And GogojOey, as you said, going for that run by. It is getting super chaotic.
He has so many
But he
Marauders,
just
mate.
cannot fight the Marauders.
Look at those Marauders. Ultras are going to do nothing to him. He has 5 Marauders, 5 Ultras on the way. Ultras are not what you need.
Broodlord Spot B.
Oh my god.
He's starting to cleave through a little bit, trying to get whatever friendly fire he can. Beautiful Widowmine connections on top of the Banelings. And the Marauders want to fight in this choke point.
Yeah, the Ultras do run away. It looks like the Marauders will be cleaned up by the Lean Bane, just barely keeping it alive. Meanwhile, that other force, though, that base was taken out.
It's one taken out, but here's the thing, though, like,
ExpecT
is out of money. GogojOey's out of the army. Is GogojOey going to do it? Such an efficient trade here on the Widow Mines, but is that going to be enough?
Oh god, we'll find out, buddy. Once again, he put the Ultra Cabinet in the same place and it's gonna slowly die. But you're right, ExpecT. What does he have
He's
left?
mining the orbital to the north. What's taken out? Is GogojOey going to do it? He can only make a handful of units at a time.
He needs to calm down, buddy. No. Okay, he does back off. And
it's always oxide, isn't it, Light?
I think GogojOey should have this. I mean, are there any Widow Mines? No. Without Widow Mines and a massive wave of Lings that are coming out here for GogojOey, I don't know if ExpecT can really do anything about this.
GogojOey's mining gas. It's starting to run out. Oh, okay, now the player's mining gas.
Oh my god. Meanwhile, we do have 2 Widow Mines behind all of this. And now ExpecT finds out about the bottom right-hand base.
Like, oh no.
Yeah, the hard way.
And there's no easy way to deal with that either.
Yeah. Oh my god. Does he go down? Does he go down the ramp into creep? Is that gonna happen? He's gonna get surrounded? Is this
If he
it?
does, he's gonna get surrounded. Well, surrounded by 2 Ultras. I'm not sure if that's much of a surround. GogojOey, you need to make a choice right now, buddy.
Oh my god, the Ultra immediately gets focused down,
anymore.
but here come all the Lings. Oh god, the Widow Mine shots!
Don't trade efficiently as they could. The Corruptors seal the medevacs as they hot pick up in the skies. I think GogojOey's gonna do it.
Yeah, he's got this, mate. There's nothing left. There's a handful of Marines and a Marauder. There's 1 Widow Mine. There's a Planetary. To be fair, this is the best place that ExpecT can fight. This is the most defensive location with the help of the Planetary and the missile turret. But even with all of that, I don't think he has enough.
Yeah, GogojOey mining literally 10 times the minerals of ExpecT right now.
Oh my god, fight! GG!
Doesn't even fight in the end. GG is called. I'm with Chaos Board Serenity, the craziest best of 5. Or at least the craziest conclusion of best of 5 we've casted in a long time. GogojOey will advance to the main event. I need a long swig of water after that game, Light. It's happened maybe 3 times so far, Light, where the first time we had a very scrappy game, I was like, this is the closest. Then we had another super scrappy game. This is the closest. No. This is straight up the closest game I have ever casted.
It was so back and forth for a while there. It looked like GogojOey was just dead. He like when he just kept losing hatcheries left and right, and he just couldn't get a mining base up and running. But then after a bunch of chaos and a bunch of back and forth, there was a bit of a lull period, like 20 minutes in, and both of the players backed off, and then the Ultra Cavern was rebuilt, and the bottom right hand base was taken. Mate, it was insane.
Absolutely insane. And in that time, it's possible that the 3rd qualifying match finished up. Starting to get some confirmation here. From last I checked, B-Stork was up 2-1 against Javier.
Qualified.
He qualified! Our Hong Kong boys!
They did it. They did it. The Hong Kong boys, GogojOey from the upper brackets, B-Stork from the lower bracket. They have both qualified. They have both made it through. It's a bit of a shame that B-Stork and GogojOey had to face each other in the first round, but in the end, they were both able to qualify for the main event.